Ladies and gentlemen, I just uploaded a video not long time ago. Actually, was it Sunday? Yeah, I did upload a video. It was around the borders. There is this discussion in South Africa around immigration, borders, and so on. But today I just want to deal with one thing, and that really troubles me. It concerns the interview that the Yusuf lady, I think it's Abikari Yusuf, it's a Nigerian journalist that interviewed Jacinta Ngobese, and it also interviewed, or rather the journalist was part of the press briefing that was given by the interministerial committee that is responsible for immigration, led by Mamuloko Kubai. But what is very troubling is not that. It is what Mr. Vavi said, Zwelinzima Vavi, the former Secretary General of COSATU, the GS of COSATU, now the General Secretary of SAFTU. Zwelinzima Vavi went on ranting, basically making a lot of troubling statements about the Zulus. You know, there is a trend recently, and it worries me, and if we're not careful, it might cause serious trouble in South Africa. He went on and on around the Zulus, that the Zulus are taught from young age to be Zulus first and South Africa second. And he went on and on around that. And it sounded very tribal, to be honest. He was really tribal in all ways that you can look at it. And he juxtaposed that with the rest of South Africa. How Zulus are raised and how the rest of South Africa, how people from the rest of South Africa are raised. And my concern is that all people that are from ANC background, recently they've been dividing South Africans, along tribal lines. And this should worry everybody. It was the issue around the young man who was killed in Mossel Bay in the Western Cape. And there was this march by the Tsonga Shangaan, something like that, who marched in Pretoria, saying, hey, Shangans are being discriminated against and Zulus are discriminating them. Just nonsensical statements. Hearing one person who speaks Zulu saying something bad about people that speak Tsonga or Shangaan, whichever word you want to use, even though many people say it's the Tsongas in South Africa and the Shangaans in Mozambique. And they were marching, and you also have members of parliament from the economic freedom fighters also making noise around Zulus, Xhosas, Tsongas, and so on. So it's these tribal issues. When you start seeing even members of parliament making noise and talking about tribal issues, you must know that we are heading towards something that is going to explode. And it will be bad when that explodes. Our leaders need to start slowing down and stopping this tribal nonsense that they are talking about. Because otherwise we'll be in trouble in the next few years if we go that route. Where people are talking about the different tribes in South Africa. What we need to be doing, all of us, and not just sit at home and just say, okay, these are marches, these are this protests, and this is a rally. Somebody was saying this. Instead, we need to condemn it. Vavi never even condemned this tribal nonsense, except aiming his guns at the Zulu-speaking South Africans. You know? I mean, I find that nonsensical. I mean, for starters, what is wrong to teach people at school about their culture or traditions? What is wrong with that? I mean, Vavi himself was serving in the leadership of COSATU, and the president of COSATU went to the, or let me just use maybe an African word, because the English equivalent doesn't really express very well what actually it means. I mean, somebody who goes to go and twasa or a petrol. I mean, the president of COSATU went there. No attack, nothing. And when she came out, she was wearing all those traditional things. Maybe because she's Xhosa, which is a tribe where Zwelinzima belongs. No, people accepted, everybody accepted. Nobody really complained, including Vavi himself. But just because it's now people that speak a language that is different from his, he's coming out and talking all this tribal nonsense, spewing venom against a certain tribe, trying to split or divide South Africa into some tribal garbage. Instead of him leading